What's good? What's good? What's good? We are back and we're consistent this year, y'all. We are back just like we told you we would be. And this episode, we are doing something that we've never done before, and we're really excited to bring it to y'all. So, we hope that you enjoyed. I know, right? Ooh, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get our next season. The technology gonna be fire, so we're gonna have all the air horns and all the things. But for now, imagine a drum roll. We have our first ever male perspective and male guest speakers. Our brothers, our Black Kings, are on the call. We got Lamar and Smiley. What's good? What's good? What's good?
Hey,
Hey. So Lamar, you hailing from Chi-Town, Chicago, okay? That's what he claims, but really it's Evanston. So you're hailing from.
Don't do him like that.
We really started with haters. That's crazy.
It's okay. It's okay, Lamar.
Not this is your first time meeting this man, Sable, and you flaming him.
That's cool. Hey, if that's how we gonna start, we gonna finish the
we gotta start this. So keep it up. Right? Okay.
Don't get him started.
Please don't.
That's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, Smiley. We have Smiley on from Birmingham. What's up, Smiley? What's up? What's up?
What's happening?
Hey.
I know y'all hear that southern accent.
That's right.
Said not much.
Being from the South, watch your mouth. You know what I mean? That's it's South too. It's okay. I can say that. But we have our very lovely Black Kings on the call, and today we are going to be talking about all things relationships in your 30s from the perspective of Smiley and Lamar. We have the single life, the married life, all kinds of different angles to this thing. So we're going to get it popping. We're going to get it cracking. And, I am ready. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good. Real good.
Feeling great.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get some male perspective on these episodes. Like, I feel like this is going to get juicy. I feel like it's going to get juicy. Not the oh Lord. I just
not the oh Lord.
You know,
this topic, I don't know where it's gonna go. Are y'all chiming in too? Because I feel like
yes,
okay.
We want it to be real. We want it to be authentic. We want it to get a little messy, a little Uncle Shay Shay, a little Cat Williams, a little all that.
Yeah, as long as it's Miami. It's not 5-on-2 because we like a starting 2 against
on it.
Yeah. We would never gang up on y'all. We don't do that.
Kayla Lion, get ready.
Okay. So let's start with, before we start talking about marriage, I think we should start talking about dating in the 30s. Because I just turned 30 3 weeks ago. And I feel like ever since I turned 30, there's like this newfound pressure that follows you about why you're not married. That's the number one question I get now. How old are you? I'm 30. Oh, so why you not married? Why is that the next question that's asked after you turn 30? Why is that a pressure that you have to be married when you're 30? I don't get that. Am I the only one that gets that? I don't get that.
Absolutely not. Let's hear from the men though. Let us know why.
Lamar, go ahead. Take that one. Take that.
Well, when I was 30, I wasn't married, so I definitely never got those questions at all. But married and no kids, I feel like for guys, that's like prime real estate. Like that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Really?
A woman that's not married with no kids?
But the woman
men that are not married with no kids, ring them up. Bring them this way. Bring them this way.
See?
That's what I need.
Okay.
By that time, he done got 1 kid, 2 kids, and it's no knock to anybody. Like, if you have kids, you love your kids. That's great. But me as a woman looking for a man for me to also date, and you don't got no kids, you got a good job, you got some sense, we can have a good conversation, you funny, we can laugh. Yeah, run it up. I need that. That's what I want.
Okay. But I feel like at 30, a lot of people have kids. Like, I think that's the number one issue I run into is that he either has one that he had in college or high school, or he has 2, one he had in college and one he had in high school. I don't mind being a stepmama though.
What's your cutoff?
I don't mind.
What's your cutoff though? Would you date a man with like 3 kids?
Two is the cutoff because I want to have one of our own and I want 3.
I respect that. But
how does it look for men, for a woman who if I had 2 kids, how would it look for y'all though? How do y'all take that?
Smiley, go ahead. You take that one. You got that.
Man, okay. So you go into a situation to where it's like you think about, well, me personally, think about value. And not the person isn't value, but what can you do together as far as like growth wise? I mean, you know, a woman who has kids or a woman or a man who has kids, you know, they've gotten to that curve to where they've grown up. So those conversations, you know, are going to be a little different. Those interactions are going to be a little different because now, you know, hopefully the man and the woman are looking for people that they can have around their kids that'll be tremendous role models. They can learn things from. They could invest and see more. The question, Grace, you know, you get asked that question because I mean now in our generation, our society is like nobody really wants to get married. Nobody really wants to grow because everything is so instant. So it's like I say I want all these things and I say that I want to be great, but am I willing to put in the work? Am I willing to allow time to create this avenue for me? And you know, the real answer, when you look at yourself in the mirror, the real answer is no, because 95% of people can't look themselves in the mirror because they're not success. They're not happy with what they see because of all the bull crap that they created.
Come on, Smiley.
Wow.
Come on, Smiley.
That's why I got kicked.
We're done.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
But I think too, to add to like why you asked why, like, you know, for women, if they have kids, like how hard is it to date at that point too? I think it's both ways, right? So I think, you know, and it could be a little selfish, but it's the reality of it is that your focus is not going to be on that individual solely.
Exactly.
Right? So
Interesting.
you want, and that when you're going into something, people want that attention and they want that focus. That's why when women have a guy that don't have kids, they know they're getting that 100% focus,
attention,
right?
right?
That y'all want, right? And vice versa. We know that if you got kids, you want to be the best mom you want to be, right? And that's going to be your number one priority. And some guys, you know, they can't handle that or they don't want to deal with it. And then, you know, you get into, you know, the mothers of the kids, you know, or the fathers of the kids that's either in the picture or not in the picture. And that's a whole nother dynamic depending on the personality of the individual. Do I want to have to deal with, good or bad, another individual for the next 18 years if I'm with this person, you know?
It's almost like setting your expectations too. Like, okay, if you're going to be with this person to have a child, like you have to set your expectations to be realistic too, of understanding you're not going to get 100% of the attention either.
Right.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think most people expectations aren't realistic because they ain't real with themselves. So if you can't be real with yourself, you got this imagination or list in a sense to what you want and how you want things to be. And the reality is that shit ain't gonna be real. Oh damn, can we cuss?
Oh yeah, you
Smiley, yes.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yes, this is not PG. We're not PG. This is exclusive. Whatever. Okay, so that you make a good point with the expectations though, but is there such thing as your expectations being too much? Like, if I want a man that's fine, that has a good job and a good car and no kids, is that doing too much? Like, is that expecting too much? Because apparently,
this is the question of the year, for real.
Like, are my expectations too much now?
Like, what is too much and what is not?
Yeah, what is considered too much and what is not?
Lamar, you want that?
That is crazy.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared now. Don't be passing the ball like that now.
Oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Get it back.
We speak in general terms, right? I think I go back to Smiley. Like you got to look in the mirror and look at yourself first and what you bring to the table. So you want, a fine brother. You
Mhm.
want him to have a nice car,
Yep.
nice job, no kids.
Mm.
But what you got, and I'm not saying what you got,
Ooh,
Grace. I'm talking about in general. I'm talking
like
about in general. I'm
Lamar.
talking about in general. I had to wait. I had to reel it back.
Wait, not Lamar
Don't
said
reel it
what you
back.
got.
He said,
You
but
out
what
there
you got
already.
though?
What you mean?
What are you bringing to the table?
The
Grace
real-
said,
I don't
I
have a
am the table.
Mercedes, but
I am the
but
table.
what is the other person? I won't even say the woman. The other person bring it to the table because some guys are the same way. Like I want a bad chick that
Mhm.
independent, got her money, that could be,
Okay.
little rated R in other spaces, picking up what I'm putting down. And they want all of
That's
that,
real.
right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
but I'm sitting here barely making end meet, barely got a car,
Mhm.
you know,
Lawrence
on
from
a
Insecure. Sorry.
whoa,
That's crazy.
crazy.
But he was a good man though. But he was a
He
good
was.
man.
He
So
was
What?
lazy.
He
He was
was
was. He was
lazy.
lazy. And he was saying all
No.
these goals, and I'm gonna try to start this, try to start that, and like you can be a good man, but
So
you
y'all
ain't
just
got nothing.
y'all justify her cheating because he was lazy?
I
No,
did
Y'all want to
not
okay,
go
say
there?
no.
that. I did
no.
He
not
didn't.
say
Okay, I was
that.
just
That
making
kind of
sure where we
sound like
are. Hey, I'm just making sure where we
Whoa,
are here. Okay,
No, but I
all
whoa,
also
right.
okay,
think
Lamar.
you cannot just. I'm one of those people that is like, don't say you're gonna do something and don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You might
Stand
as
on
well have not said
business.
anything at all, right? You saying one thing, you doing another thing. It's not adding up. So why are we having this conversation? She was
About the
cheating. That was
action.
dead wrong. No, cheating is dead wrong. She should communicate. But I think that's a whole nother podcast. Like Lauren's got way
no,
more.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that is.
That is.
Sorry, I digress.
Look, you started. Okay, so speaking
That's
of,
the double standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
right, that's what I was gonna say. It is a double standard.
She a hoe, she a this, she that. But he was emotionally, you wasn't giving him this, you wasn't doing that. What? So that makes you cheat? That's crazy.
Right. Mm, mm.
Mm.
A lot of points dropped here. Speaking of
Man,
double standards, what about gender norms? Do you guys still expect a woman to be able to cook and clean and do all that stuff? Like, is that still a thing?
for me, it is. I have no problem with, my wife. Um, when I have my wife, I have no problem with you working and doing all these things, but I don't want you to be in a situation to where you start to progress so much that you forget about home. Like me, just for me, from my perspective, typically women and kids can get away with being careless.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar and myself, most men can't get away with being careless. So when it comes to a decision, whether the woman makes a ton of money or the man makes a ton of money, or they're equal or they're right next to each other, a man is seen as protector. So if I impulsively do something, everything attached to me is going to be out of whack. Like, so with that double standard that you just talked about, and a woman being able to have that role, I would love it if my wife, you know, did things on the back end that I couldn't do, that I don't see. I mean, that's what I need you for. Like I actually not only want you, but need you to be a part of our team. And being able to be on a team is everybody doing their individual jobs. So I'm not finna step on your toes when it comes to a decision that we both have discussed and we agreed upon. Now, if we discuss something and we ain't agreed, it's a different kind of situation. Go ahead.
Smiley, you had me at careless, but you cleaned it up at the end. But
Yeah,
I would
I was like,
know,
where
I
is
was
he going
like,
with this?
so what does
It-
careless mean?
So
like,
when I say careless, let me clear it up. When I say
yeah, let's clear it up.
careless, mean
Right.
women are more in tune with who they are as a person overall. Like hands down, women know exactly what they want, how they want it, what time frame in the sense that they want something, right?
Okay.
When it comes to being emotional and nurturing, those go hand in hand for me because, I may be able to communicate with Lamar because understanding Lamar is negotiating business with me.
Mm.
When I negotiate with Grace, I have to factor in a lot of other components so that she has an understanding of where I'm coming from and that she knows that I understand who she is, while trying to coerce what I need her to do.
Mm.
So I don't know. That's what I mean by, being more careless, because it's more of an impulsive thought if I offend Grace. And Grace, I'm just using you because you popped on this thing, but it's more detrimental if I use a certain term that Grace doesn't agree with. It has to be detailed out. So, am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yes,
Just
I would just change the coerce. We'll just switch that out with just understanding each other's perspective.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
I got you, Smiley. I got you.
a word switch.
Switch out that word.
Switch it
Lamar,
out,
what
switch
you
it out.
got? Lamar, what you got? What you got?
Yeah, gender norms is I think it comes from your background and where you grew up at, like traditionally, like my family's from Jamaica, and you could correlate that to what people say, like, oh, somebody did that. Okay. You could correlate that from being down south or in other cultures where they expect the woman to do the cleaning, the cooking, taking care of the kids, et cetera, et cetera. Like my grandmother never went to school and took care of the 9 kids that she had, right? Some of my aunts are the same way, but I think it's where you grow up and how and two, we're still in a society where everything we see on the screen, TV, social media, all those things they dictate how we act in the household and outside of it. So there's gender norms on different situations, I think. I think for me, and then Smiley said it's communication. Like the expectation is not for my wife to cook every night. If I expect that, then we're not gonna eat.
Right.
And I say that because we try not to have gender norms, and the fact that I just went downstairs, I ain't seen nothing on the stove. I said, "Bet we calling the Asian spot. We getting food in the house." You know. But if I go down, early and I'm actually thinking about, making food, I'll throw something in the pan and mix something up so that we can eat. But we still got both different upbringings, but Smiley hit on it. It's all about the communication that we have, right? And the cleaning and cooking is definitely more of a gender norm for us when it comes to cleaning. I'll do some dishes for sure and
Yeah.
vacuum,
Okay.
but
That's where I dip out.
the bathrooms and more the small details, I'm good on that. I'm solid.
I mean, my bad, Lamar.
Go ahead, you got it.
I mean, really, I don't really care about that. I just want you to be able to everything that you would want. I would want you to be able to perform it. Like Lamar said, people come from different backgrounds, and communication is important. Like we get into relationships, and we don't know who we're in a relationship with. Like, really, you're supposed to know who this person is and what you're dealing with. And sometimes that never really gets talked about because of the expectations that are never talked about. I don't even know if I just made sense.
No, that
It was
makes
there.
sense. It makes sense. Like, you just have to communicate the expectations in advance. Because if you get married to a man that's like, oh, I want my woman to cook, clean, everything, but this woman has a VP role in the NFL, let's say, she can't do
Listen.
that.
There's no such thing as can't.
Oh, uh-oh.
It's about, bro.
Explain, Smiley.
Look, Smiley,
look,
okay.
Yeah, he's getting real
Everybody-
spicy with that one.
everybody in the world is capable of performing. Everybody.
Yeah,
But most people aren't willing to.
There's
It's
a
the
difference.
willingness of it. It's just like God. God don't force you to be with him. He don't force you to do nothing but what you got going on to him. He said, you go left or right, I'm gonna be with you. Just don't be in the middle. Okay, cool. I go left, I go right, you got my back. Now, am I willing to talk to you every day? Am I willing to give you that time? Am I willing to communicate and build a relationship in the unknown factors of my life? That is a willing action.
He took us to God.
Y'all, I want y'all to know this is a man of God right here, and this is
man.
No, he just took us to church. I'm over here
He
like,
just
wait my hand a little
yes.
bit.
Hey,
But let's
Where's
go
the
back
offering?
though.
Where's the offering? Got $1 over
The
here for
offering
you.
tray is about to go around. Amen.
Can we go back to like the willingness? Because I'm big on willingness and capability, right? Like we can get deep on that. But I will be honest, like, yes, I have the capability to do a lot. That doesn't mean that I'm willing to do it. And that doesn't mean that I think that even if I can do it, that doesn't mean that like I view that as a effective partnership for me, right? Like I can cook and clean. I will cook and do and bust down in the kitchen, even though Kayla doesn't think I can cook.
You can.
But thank you, Grace. Thank you. But if I cook, our agreement, like my fiance is like, he knows the dishes is yours.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I have a capability of doing the dishes, but my willingness is out the window because I cooked. Like or for me, it's busy season for me. My willingness and my capability is going to be lower than when it's not busy season. So if there's not an expectation or communication on that, then it ain't going to work because, yeah, I got a lot of other things to do. Like, just because it's a gender norm to cook and clean for women doesn't mean men don't have the capability to do it. Sometimes I need you to bust that willingness a little bit up because I'm busy. You know? Like,
no, yeah,
yeah, Lamar,
absolutely.
I saw your hand, Lamar. I saw. Yeah.
Lamar said, here.
Yes, sir.
So we're really talking about one side of the gender for the gender norms here.
Let me just mute myself.
Right.
So I just need to ask the powerful Black women on this call here, do you expect that the man is supposed to be the provider and the one making the money and doing all the things? Because I think we had a conversation just about 10-15 minutes ago that somebody mentioned a man with money. So is that the expectation?
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Kayla, go.
I literally had this conversation so much lately. Like, I think in today's society, women are also working. Because I grew up, if my mom was like, if your man is the sole provider for the family, you better have dinner on that table every single night. That's how, like, she's like, that's how you need to think about it. However, now we're working also, so it's a give and take, and that's where communication, the willingness, all that stuff comes into play. But I do want my man to be the provider because I don't want to have to worry about that. Honestly, I feel like I'm a nurturer. I'm the mother. Like, I want to do all that kind of stuff. So I don't want that full responsibility. However, I will go to work and provide and all that stuff. But I feel like that's where my gender roles kind of come up and show up for me when it comes to marriage. What y'all think, ladies, though? What y'all think?
I mean, I definitely think that in an ideal world, until like we get to a spot, I feel like both people in the house should be making money and bringing in money, because I want to be able to retire at a certain age. I have like financial goals we want to make, and it don't make sense, even if he does make a lot of money. That's not being a good steward to me. If we have goals that we want to have, for me to just sit at home and be at home, not making no extra money. Because even if I took a job that was substantially less, but it gave me more flexibility in my schedule, the money that I am making, I can put that towards our kids' trust funds. I could put that to a 401k. I could put that to our traveling fund. And even though he still is carrying the brunt of the load, I'm still providing value in a financial way. I think how I was raised in like a single parent household, I would never, and I don't want to say never because I don't know, I might find a billionaire. He just take care of me. I just don't think it's responsible.
Speak it, Lord. Speak it. Don't shoot the dream down.
I don't think it's responsible just to rely solely on a man's money to take care of yourself. And it doesn't matter. And I think I've gotten into disagreements. It's like, wouldn't you trust him to make sure you're okay? It's not about trusting. It's just about having a backup plan for yourself to make sure you're okay. Everything can change. People are fickle. It goes up and down. And then if you were just solely relying on a divorce settlement or him to be a good man and make sure you're okay if it don't work out, then you're going to be looking real crazy when you don't have nothing to fall back on. And I think that's what my mom instilled in me. Like, you could have a good man that provides, but at the end of the day, he shouldn't be your sole provider in general. Like, it would be nice, but I'm gonna still make money on the side or something.
Right.
You gotta have your own bag.
No, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, men are providers and protectors. Ultimately, that's supposed to go into leadership. You see my quotations?
I was just gonna say, what's the quotations for?
Yeah, y'all
He
see.
put up quotations, y'all.
The
Yeah, I see
quotations
that.
mean
Put them quotations. But again, society that we live in is like everything that we just basically agreed upon and talked about, it falls back into communication. Like, if you get a man that makes a substantial amount and you have to understand his background. He may come from a situation to where the woman cooks, clean. I don't want you to work. I want you to have babies and take them to daycare. Work on home. If on the flip side, to a woman that comes from a single parent household or and they make substantially more than a man, that woman has to be able to communicate with that man and not assume the role of what he typically does. It's been the provider and the protector. Like, if my woman make more money than me, right? Baby, I don't care nothing about none of that. I don't care nothing about none of that. As long as before we do whatever we do, you know what I'm saying? We have an understanding about when we go out, you my lady. Yeah, you the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but at the end of the day, you my wife. You my lady. You don't, nothing that go on out there. Ain't got nothing to do with what we got going on in here. Because I gotta wake up to you. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta wake up to you. I gotta take care of you when you sick. You gotta take care of me when I'm sick. So when you start to bring that work home and you start to or boss or be in a sense to where devaluing something that is solidified and talked about and give you safety and protection, baby. Hey, go ahead and look in that mirror over there. Cause you tripping and you need to tie your shoes up because you're gonna bump your head and your head gonna fall in between that little space in between the wash and the dryer. That little space right there. Your head gonna fall in between it now. So listen, but it's all boiled down to the communication, man. Like, baby, yeah, I'm fortunate enough to know how to cook and prepare and iron. I don't like stuff that's dirty. You know what I'm saying? I don't like stuff that stink. So I expect my woman to, if you don't know how, babe, I'm gonna teach you a little bit now. You just gotta be willing to learn from me. But that goes into leadership. You ain't willing to learn from it. Well, we up shit creek without a paddle.
Yo, I like that last comment you made, especially because it goes back to communication. Because I had a situation with a mentor who I really value, him and his wife's relationship, and he told me that sometimes you have to seek to understand and not be understood. Because going back to what you just said, I can come from a background where I didn't have enough money to use a washer and dryer, and so when I wash your clothes, I might put everything together, and then you might get mad at me because you're like, you know better. But the communication part comes from you don't know what my background was and where I was coming from, so that's why you have to seek to understand and not be understood.
And that's definitely. Go ahead, Sable.
No, go ahead, Lamar. This is male perspective. It's about to go ahead.
Because y'all are good.
Because come on.
No, it's communication. I think it's a couple more C's. It's collaboration and compromise too, because you've got to.
Compromise.
That's where the gender norms could just go all the way. It don't happen, right? So Smiley already said it. Like, if I'm making the most money or you making the most money, like we got to work together to make this thing work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And actually been with a girl that has make more money than me. If you know who my wife is, she definitely make more money than me.
Your wife is a boss. Okay.
She is. She
I
is
had to
that
like
girl.
get into it, please, because your wife, for those of you who don't know, we had her on the podcast last season. Dr. Lacey Cameron Johnson.
Doctor.
Doctor. And she means business. Okay. So sorry,
Standing
Lamar, I
all
had to say
day.
that.
I
Yeah.
know, it's okay. She stand on it for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we've had those conversations. You know, fortunately, it comes into ego too. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes when we went on dates and she grabbing the check, I'm like, I feel kind of weird. I'm like, hey, but I think, as we build what we have now, it's about the communication of, why am I gonna try to be this big man, a provider, and drain my pockets out when you bring what you bring to the table and you want to provide just as much as me. And it's not always going to be 50-50. It could be 60-40, 70-30, what it is. But that collaboration don't come unless we communicate as well. So I think, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, do you feel like you had to battle with your ego at all with that? Like, oh, she makes more and like she's able to foot the bill on this date or whatever it is. Because I've heard men in those situations be like, I had to check my ego in a lot of instances.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I a couple times for sure. It was because I'm raised by my mom, my sister. So, having a woman pay for anything other than a gift, that was a change for me. But I think what it also on the flip side, as I like really like Smiley was saying, I had to look in the mirror and say like, well, why am I tripping? You want something like that. You want someone that is a boss. And honestly, it motivated me. Like the part about it that was intimidating was not only, the finances and all that stuff. It was just having her ish together. So that motivated me like, well, shoot, it's not a competition, but I want to make sure I got my coins together. I want my savings together. I want my credit score together. Because if we're gonna build this life together, then we both gotta come to the table and be bosses. So,
but I think too, Lamar, because we know you, like you do add a lot of other things that are not financial, right? So that's what you want in a man, right? You want somebody that has integrity. You want somebody that's gonna speak up for you and put you in rooms that you've never been in before, because I know that you will always advocate for Lacey to be in rooms, even if she didn't have the opportunity, even though she makes more, you're still gonna be like, no, I think she needs to be in this speaking engagement. I think and just making sure she has a platform to be in that space as it relates to all things. So I do want to just make sure that people know, like, you're not even like a good husband, but a good mentor. You always are making sure that the right people are in the right rooms, and that if all you have to offer a person is money, then that's not gonna last. Because if you don't got a good personality, if you're not motivating me to have integrity and to make me laugh, to make me smile, to be able to be romantic, all your money is just gonna make me spiteful and be like, another man got money, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Nisha. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Smiley, I thought about when you were saying like I heard you say provider a lot, and that was my one my one piece that just kept coming to my mind is I think whenever we hear a man being a provider, we automatically think money.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
There's other
Yeah.
things.
while
There's other
money is
things.
So many other
so
things.
important, well, money helps you provide in different ways and gives you access and opportunities. It's not everything. And for me, when I think about someone, and I'll talk about, you know, for me, my fiance, like I think about being a provider and like the safety that I feel is priceless, right? Like the psychological safety, the physical safety, like everything like that to me is value added like exponentially. Like I can't explain how valuable. I haven't been able to feel that, right? Like ever.
Yeah.
Everybody laughing and grinning right now, so stop it. Anyways, but I think about like being a provider, and like I think while money is important, it also, I think that like the way that social media is right now and the way that society is and the norms is devaluing how valuable that piece of providing is. Like we think about the tangibles, we think about the money, we think about all of that. And I just hope that we can get to the point, especially as Black women, where we are the most disrespected, the most disrespected, in my opinion, in our country. The value of that type of protection and security is huge for us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Smiley, you kept saying that, you know, I just thought about that other piece, like the other side of the coin to protection for me. This Prosecco is great, by the way.
I agree. Sable, I want to take off. Well, not even take off. I want to piggyback off of that point and something that Niche said as well about like it. Like you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have like the personality or like the depth that comes with being a person or a good person, like there's nothing else that I don't know. I just feel like money is going to be shallow, but I do like the idea of like the provider piece because for me, because I've been dealing with life all by myself and making my own decisions. When I do finally get into a relationship, I want to be able to like let go of my steering wheel and allowing that person to drive the car for once. And I think it just takes a level of trust and communication. Back to what Smiley you said, but I think it's really important for you to be able to trust the person that you're in a relationship with, especially if technically they're going to be the head of the household. And especially if you're going to be confiding in them on a lot of major decisions, you want to make sure that at the end of the day, if we decide on something and we stand 10 toes strong on it, I'm not standing 9 and you 10 and I'm over here complaining about the decisions that you made. Like it's going to happen inevitably because I mean, I got my girl first, I'm going to talk to my tribe, but at the end of the day, I should be like, you know what? He's making a good decision for the whole encompassing of what this is. Right. And I had a friend who talked about it in an analogy of a car. Like she was like, you can drive you could drive towards a cliff with your husband and you know the cliff is coming up and he sees it too. And you can say, hey babe, I think you should turn left. And he'll be like, all right, cool. And you're still driving towards the cliff, but you have to trust and believe that at one point in time, he's either going to turn the wheel and drive you away to safety, or he might drive you off that cliff. And next you know, it might turn into a plane and you never knew that y'all were going to fly. It's just like, again, going back to the trust factor of you may see that happening.
Right.
That's quite the scenario, Crystal.
I feel you.
Somebody making a decision for you. Like when you're in a relationship, y'all have to let go of all that ego and trust that the person is making the best decision.
Yeah.
So again, if you're driving my car and I see you driving into a bad decision and I'm giving you advice on not taking that bad decision, it's still ultimately up to you if you're going to take it or not. And so that's why I use the cliff, because I mean, we don't know what people are doing. So
I think I feel like that's fair because I feel like, especially if you're wanting your man to assume like the leadership role, I feel like you have to be empathetic to him as well. Like if he makes a mistake, okay, like you can't say like you can't expect him to be perfect all the time. Like you have to be empathetic.
Because we're not perfect.
Like especially if you want him to be a leader, you have to allow him to be a leader too. But someone told me the other day, like you should look up to your partner. And they said like you should look up to your man, but I think it goes both ways. And Lamar kind of brought that up. Like
Kayla, I love
if you don't look up to him from a woman's perspective, then you're probably not going to trust him. You're probably going to second guess him. You're probably, all these things. Like you should like look at him and be like, dang, like he does really dope things. Like I look up to the person that he is, what he does, because then hopefully all those other things fall into it, and then he can lead your family as you would want.
You said it. There you go.
There has to be a sense of value. Just like CP.
Yeah, come CP.
Just like CP stated, when you taking care of things a lot on your own, sometimes it becomes hard to relinquish that control of your life. I mean, but then on the flip side of that coin, if you want something to work, you got to communicate. You got to be willing, stable. You got to be.
He got you there.
That's your word, ain't it?
Okay,
Willing.
Willing.
My bad. It was a shot in the air.
It sure was. That was a loud shot.
No, I'm saying no. But it's sometimes like Roger though, it really become hard because a man's ego. It's easy for both people to get intimidated without, when dealing with partners. That's why Lamar, when you made the statement of your wife being who she is and also valuing things that others can't see from a man that you do. Crazy. You don't you know who you are and being comfortable with that. That's salute. Because a lot of relationships can't have communication to be understood because people won't accept who they are. People would be in a situation like McRae. That's it, right?
Who?
Nisha.
Oh man, come on, bro.
I'm like, who?
No, I was like
Nisha.
Pause.
Come back.
Bring it back. Like she stated in saying, Lamar, bro, come on, man. I'm trying to get.
Come on, bro, get to it, bro.
Okay, what Lamar stated about I mean, a lot of people don't really know who they are enough to be able to have a conversation with a woman to advance themselves, let alone their relationships. So if a man is feeling intimidated by, this woman making more money than he does, it would never be a great situation. You'll be flying on hope.
Yeah.
And hope you'll fuck around and die. So
that car won't turn into a plane when it get off.
It's going down. It's going down.
That shit.
It's going down.
Oh God. Okay, so let me ask this for Smiley and Lamar. What do y'all need in a woman? Because I feel like we've kind of expressed some of the things that we were looking for: provider, protector, nice car, nice man, loves Jesus. I don't think you guys said that. I need somebody to love Jesus. But what do you guys need in a woman?
Lamar, go ahead, because you got a hell of a lady, bro.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's really big on like the feelings that you all have for each other, but expressing it, right? I want a woman that's gonna be authentic and be able to be vulnerable to be able to get into the relationship that we're gonna have, right? And I know that is it's hard for women sometimes because of ex-boyfriends and life and society and just what y'all are told that y'all should walk into situations, you know what I'm saying? But like this whole I gotta play hard to get or let me leave him on red and all those things there. Like yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Lord.
Y'all be all right.
That's not what I want in a woman. Like I'm all down for the chase, but I want someone that's gonna be authentic and show that you interested, right? You show that you interested, then I'm gonna show that I'm invested as well. All right. I would say they gotta be a boss. Like I feel like respectfully, like I feel like I was always determined to be great. If you know what I mean, you'll catch it. Same with like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like if I'm gonna be the boss that I want to be one day, then I don't just want you on my arm and this is Lamar's wife. I want us to walk in the room and it's like, yo, there they go. There
Period.
they go. Whether that's you, the best fashion designer, you the best doctor, dentist, whatever it is you want to be, be great at that so that we could be great together. So, those are two definitely like big pieces looking for a woman, and then just someone that um is willing to cater as well. And that could be difficult to do with strong-willed or independent women, but I think that um the willingness to cater is crucial.
Hey,
Smiley.
Smiley.
But look, my situation a little different from Lamar. You know what I'm saying? He got his old lady. You know what I'm saying? But for me, and just my experience, just experience with myself, experience with, different females. The one thing I can say is I want you to love yourself. Like and not no cliche. I want you to love yourself to the point to where you have empathy. Don't sympathize. I want you to have empathy in your heart.
Come on now.
Because
Teach them.
yeah, you got empathy in your heart. You'll treat me like you treat your village of women that you talk to. You wouldn't get offended, or you wouldn't, take things personal that I may not understand, that I may not say, that I may not know how to say. Love me like you love yourself. Love me like you value those relationships that you have with your friends. And then granted, I mean, you have to want to be with me. I want my lady to want love. Because people are different. I may not know how to give love to you. Teach me. Teach me how to give love to you. Like I'm okay with that, because it's definitely an area like.
Dang, you sound like Music Soul Child. Teach
I
me
know.
how to
I'm like,
love.
cute Music Soul Child.
But
I was like, can we drop the
but
song right now?
man, but
Me.
on the real, man, you know what I'm saying? If I see that you know how to love yourself, if I like, and love is an action. Come on now, baby. Love an action. So the action that you show towards yourself and how you handle pressure, that's the essence, baby. Come on.
Applying
When
pressure.
man, come on now. You can want to be on top of the mountain now, but a lot come with being on top of that mountain. That wind, you know what I'm saying? The weather, the looking down in the valley. Like you gotta,
Down in the valley.
yeah, and that's a place a
Down
lot
in
of
the
people.
valley where them.
Yeah, come on now, y'all acting up. Go ahead on now.
And my cricket. All right, my bad, bro. Keep going.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, little murder, go ahead.
Raise
But
up
yeah, no,
cornbread.
big facts. But no, if I would say things is loving yourself, and that's the action form. Empathy, and
Molly, I could use you in my workshops. You just really spitting game right now.
I appreciate it.
Spitting gems.
Yeah, and that pressure though, like
Pressure.
a lot of people
High
have
pressure
been.
like J. Cole.
Yeah, they would you say, like a lot of people have been on their own, and it's easy to handle pressure when you're dealing with self. When you get with somebody and you want them to look out for you in various ways that you might not be willing to look out for yourself with, because of busy work schedule and things like that. You can't be impulsive. Don't be impulsive with me, baby, because you be impulsive with me, and I start to non-verbally communicate with you. Now we got a real problem. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why
So
he put that nonverbal in there.
yeah.
crazy.
Huh?
Cause it take man, you gotta have them hard conversations. You gotta have them hard conversations. Like me personally, I want to know where's your credit score.
Oh Lord.
I gotta know whether or not. No, and it's just for me personally. Like I gotta know what I'm getting myself into.
For sure, right?
That's
No,
right.
I
But I
agree.
do think, like, to
Because
point, like, if you know what's at the beginning, then you can know if you want to stay in it or not. That's not a reason to
exactly.
cancel somebody out.
Yeah.
If you got a 560 credit score, but I'm willing to help you get to where we got to go because you got the characteristics that I want, I'm not going to cancel you out. That just
Right.
means
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
may not
that's
have
right.
had that before, because a lot of Black people, and let's be for real, a lot of Black people have taken on a lot of other traumas to help their family members, being on other things that have affected their credit score. So that's not a good indication of, like, can I actually be with you? But if you're willing to be honest and say, hey, this is my credit score, I have this much in credit card debt, but I'm willing to work on it, create a savings account, like, how can we get to that together? Then that's money right there, and we're gonna get to where we need to get to. We're gonna save, we're gonna travel, we're gonna be the two boss people that you want us to be. But if you lying to me at the beginning, and then I sign the papers and I see you got 100, and now I'm bamboozled. Now I feel like I can't even go back on.
Not
Like you,
bamboozled.
yeah.
Not bamboozled.
You done played me.
That's the
You played, like, girl, but I think if you were honest at the beginning and said, hey, in college, like, I feel like if you weren't, necessarily a student athlete or whatever, I got student debt. I got this credit score. I got this, but each year it get better. Each year the debt go down.
And if you see
with
him working,
2 incomes, we could knock that out in 2 years.
Man, knock
Like,
that motherfucker out, like, you know what I'm saying?
in 3 months, if we, like,
I feel like that's
but
a
that's not a
difference.
bad way to cut somebody off if you just lying at the
No,
beginning.
I
that
feel
ain't
like
what
that's
I
a
was. Go
difference.
ahead.
I feel like that's the difference in dating in your 30s, because now you understand who you are, hopefully a little bit more, but you're going to have those conversations, because now we're not playing about being married. Like, let's go ahead and get these conversations out in the beginning.
Yeah,
I'm not
nah.
playing. We're not 22. We're not 23. We're not 24. We're not 25. Like, let's be for real. Like, let's go ahead and have these hard combos.
But you know what I'm saying? I ask those questions, those small questions, to see if you gonna lie to me. Like she said, baby, I don't care nothing about none of that, because I know we can work together on something. But I'm saying these things to where I want to get into your subconscious. I don't want your conscious, baby. I need your subconscious to have you think about something. So when you start thinking about it, you gotta dig deep. Like, what's some of the things that you learned from your mama, that shape you into the woman that you are today? Like, I want you to really think about these questions. I don't want that you can just, oh, I said this before, or this feels familiar, so I can kind of make this up and see where his head at. I'm gonna play this game.
You want them to be authentic.
Authentication. You hear me?
Yeah.
I think that's so perfect for our podcast, just being authentic, and especially with this episode. But our whole goal this season is to get 1% better. Like, how can we get 1% better? And I feel like you and Lamar really establish ways, and just like saying what you need in a woman. Like, when you're dating, like, be authentic, put some pressure on me, like, show me that you're interested, like all those things. I feel like it's very helpful for me to hear. I felt really good, like, not really good, but I enjoyed hearing that from y'all tonight. Like, it's so good to hear a male perspective when it's like that, and not something like negative. Oh, she needs to do this better, do this. Like, sometimes I feel like men challenge our, like, womanhood when they tell us, like, how we're supposed to act in a way. But I could definitely understand, like, we need your support. We need your I can't say that word, girl.
Authenticity.
Authenticity. You was there. You was there,
You was
friend.
right there.
I was right there. But I appreciate y'all, like, just being for real and honest and, like, open with that.
Gotta be. I appreciate y'all having me and Lamar here. I mean, to choose us to be a part of y'all platform, and then an amazing things y'all about to
Be
do.
the first.
Amazing thing. Yeah, be the first one.
First men
first.
on the show. Y'all
And
said
very
some ladies
important.
from-
Very
We love our
important.
male champions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
we do.
y'all know what it is. Appreciate y'all for real.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
thank you all for listening and for being here. We need a part 2 because we didn't talk about dating.
We need a part 2.
So I hope you guys will join us again because that was like probably one of the first questions and I skipped it around. So it's kind of my fault, but we need to do a part 2. That's what it's giving.
Definitely need a
Okay.
part 2.
All right. Part 2.
But
Part
we're gonna
2.
shout them out on social media so y'all could, ask questions in the, in the comment section, all that stuff. But they gave us some good tea tonight.
Yes.
For sure. I think it was just so valuable to hear the married perspective and single perspective and all the things. So appreciate y'all for listening. Until next time.
Hold on, wait. We don't get a yes, sir? We don't get a
No,
yes, sir?
I can't do. I need
You
to
know,
know.
I
she-
was literally about to say that,
Crazy.
Lamar.
Don't
Just
get a
Lamar
yes,
texted
sir?
me.
Girl, go ahead and do it.
Go ahead,
Oh,
bro.
I can't. I'm
Hey,
shy.
Our first male
Man,
guest,
go
you can do the
ahead
yes
on,
sir
man.
for them.
I be listening all the way to
I know.
listen all the way to the
Ray say
end of the
shy. Ray
episode
shy.
Get your life
just to
together.
hear the yes, sir.
Get your
Like, come
life
on.
together.
Yes, sir.